This video will be the only resource that you will need to decide whether your team needs HubSpot, Webflow, or WordPress to function at its peak.
The easiest way to understand the difference is to look at how each platform behaves across a full workflow of a website.
Do you have like a simple way or recommendation for them to make that decision easily?
If the website's primary job is demand generation, go with if the website's competitive advantage is design and brand experience, then go with if the website needs to support deep customizations, complex SEO structures, is a solid choice.
Hi there, I'm Risha and I lead the videos here at Mavlers. And joining me today is Prateek Bhatt. He's our manager, Web Ops, who has spent over a decade building and scaling hundreds of websites across all three platforms. So you're in good hands. Prateek, welcome. And let's begin with the basics. What were these platforms originally built for in the first place?
Thanks, Risha. That's a great place to start here. Because the easiest way to understand the difference is to look at how each platform behaves across a full workflow of a website. Let's start with WordPress because historically it's been the most flexible option. It was built for teams that want maximum control and flexibility, which means almost everything is modular. You choose your hosting, your plugins, your analytics, and your integrations. And that flexibility is a powerful because it means you can build every complex setups into that. For example, if you want a marketing automation, you can connect the tools like WP Fusion or a Gravity Forms to your CRM. That allows the forms, context, and workflow to sync with your marketing stack. Then on the design side, WordPress can be extremely flexible too, where teams can use a page builders like Elementor or a Gutenberg, or even a fully custom themes. So visually, you can build almost anything, but someone has to manage that environment. Uh, Now, SEO is where the WordPress has always been particularly strong among all, with plugins like Yoast or Rank Math. Teams can get a deep control over the things like metadata, redirects, schema markup, and sitemaps. But for organization running the large content operations, that level of technical control can be very valuable into that. And when companies expand globally, WordPress can handle large multi-region setup through the tools like WPML, Polyline, or multi-site networks. That's why many international brands still rely on it. But Risha, here the trade-off is responsibility because everything is modular. The team also owns the maintenance, plugin updates, security monitoring, and hosting performance. So while WordPress gives the teams full control over how the website is built and integrated, it also means they are responsible for keeping everything running smoothly. Then let's look at HubSpot, which approaches the problem very differently. See, HubSpot was built around marketing operations. So instead of assembling a stack of different tools, most of the key systems are already integrated into that. The biggest advantage is the CRM connection. When someone fills out the form, that contact is immediately stored into the CRM. Workflow can trigger automatically, and marketing teams can track all the attribution across the campaign without needing additional integrations. But then for design, HubSpot usually relies on structure templates. So while that helps maintain brand consistency and make it easier for marketing teams to launch pages quickly. The trade-off is that if you want very custom layouts, you may still need your developer help. Then when we talk about SEO tools are built directly into the platform as well. Teams can manage a metadata, get optimization recommendation, and monitor performance without installing the plugins. It's designed to make SEO easier to manage through deeper technical customization can be more limited. And even for global teams, The good news is that HubSpot support multi-language pages within the system itself. So teams can manage translated content from one dashboard. So it's built for scale in that sense. And because analytics is tied directly into the CRM, you can see how website actively connects to the leads, opportunities, and revenue without building custom dashboards. So all in all, HubSpot's strength is simplicity. HubSpot's biggest advantage is that everything lives inside one connected ecosystem.
And hey, if you are still weighing your options, we've made this a whole lot easier for you. We've built a quick 2-minute quiz to help you make that decision more confidently. It's linked in the description of this video, so be sure to check that out.
And then there's a Webflow, which was designed keeping designers in mind. It gives us teams a visual way to build the website, control layouts, and create interactions without needing to write the code or wait for the development resources. So it focuses heavily on design and front-end control. Designers have a visual interface for building the layouts, adjusting spacing, creating animations, and controlling responsiveness without writing code. So that's really where Webflow stands out. For creative teams, launching campaign pages or microsites, that visual control can significantly speed up the process. But then automations works a little differently. Though Webflow doesn't have a native CRM or marketing automation system, so you will have to connect the form to external tools like through the platform like Zapier or Mail. That setup works well, but it means automation relies on integrations. Then we talk about the SEO. Webflow generates very clean code and the fast page performance, which search engines generally favor. Teams can control the titles, descriptions, and the structured data, though more advanced schema implementation may require technical knowledge. And then when it comes to multilingual websites, Webflow often relies on external tools like Waglot or Localize. These tools make translation easier, but they add another component to overall text stacks. Then for analytics, most of the teams connect Webflow to the platform like Google Analytics or Looker Studio to understand the traffic and conversions. So right away, you can see the pattern. WordPress focuses on deeper flexibility and customization, but requires ongoing technical management, whereas HubSpot, on another end, offers the most integrated marketing environment, which simplifies operations for marketing teams. And then Webflow offers the most visual design control, which makes it very attractive for design led organization. So depending on what your priority is, this will help your team to make the right choice for their needs.
I love how you broke that down so clearly. So thank you for that, Pratik. But I also want to talk about the impact that each of these tools can have when your business is growing, when it is scaling, right? So keeping the future growth of the company in mind, what do you foresee are some of the challenges that people should be wary of when it comes to deciding which platform is best for them?
So Richa, every CMS introduce a different kind of cost when we look at the things at a scale. So with HubSpot, the biggest consideration is cost. The platform works extremely well because everything is integrated. But as your database grows and you unlock more marketing features, the subscription cost grows with it. So the benefit is convenience, but that convenience comes with a big price tag as your marketing operations expands. With Webflow, scaling usually brings complexity on the backend. Remember how we spoke about it works extremely well for marketing sites and campaign pages, but the challenge is that once the team start introducing advanced backend logics or a very complex site structure, they may need additional tools or a custom solutions. So you are paying for those tools instead of your Webflow. When we talk about the WordPress, it handles the scale differently. See, technically you can build almost anything within it, but that flexibility means the platform requires ongoing oversight. plugin needs updates, security needs monitoring, and hosting needs optimization. So scaling with WordPress often means having the technical resources available to maintain the environment. And that's really the key takeaway here. None of these platforms are inherently better or worse. They just like place the responsibility in different places.
That makes so much sense. And since we're talking about all of these things in detail, I also would love to address the blind spots that a lot of teams miss. Now, you have worked with hundreds of global clients, so you've worked with these platforms and you know the ins and outs. What are some of the places where you have seen that as the company is growing, they have not considered certain things, right? So, when do companies suddenly realize that they might have chosen the wrong CMS?
So there are two moments that clearly come to my mind. The first is when teams need more clarity around the reporting. So leaders want to understand what content or campaigns are actually driving the revenue. So with HubSpot, that visibility is much easier because the website, CRM, and marketing automation already live inside the same platform. So it's easier to track the journey from first website visit through to a closed sale. With Webflow or WordPress, that same visibility is possible, but the teams usually have to connect multiple tools together. Things like GA4, tag managers, and CRM integrations all need to be configured properly. So the insights is there, but it requires more setup. Then the second moment usually shows up when teams start expanding their website structure. For example, launching multiple regional sites, adding product lines, or managing several brands under one organization. WordPress tends to handle those situations well because its multi-site capabilities and flexible architecture, whereas HubSpot can support multilingual pages and regional content, but the structure needs to be planned very carefully. And with Webflow, those setups are possible too, but they often rely on external tools or additional systems. So these are the two main places that I would recommend people watching also consider when they are choosing their CMS.
Great, great. And I'm sure that that really clarified a lot of doubts for people as well, right? Now, finally, let's like bring it all home for those who are watching and those who are actively evaluating a CMS right now. I would love for you to speak to the fact that do you have like a simple way or recommendation for them to make that decision easily?
So I usually tell teams to look at what role their website play inside the company. So if the website's primary job is demand generation, where marketing campaigns and lead capture drive everything, go with HubSpot as that usually make the most sense. If the website's competitive advantage is design and brand experience and you do not have many developers on board, then go with Webflow as it gives these creative teams the most freedom. And finally, if the website needs to support deep customizations, complex SEO structures, or multiple global properties, the age-old WordPress is a solid choice as it provides the most flexibility. But remember, the right CMS usually depends less on features and more on how your team actually works.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, Prateek. I'm sure that, you know, our viewers have everything that they need to make that decision. This was such a clear and detailed breakdown. And if you are planning a migration or if you're reviewing your current setup, you need an extra set of eyes. Our team is always here to help you out, and we've helped thousands of brands across industries, geographies, and company sizes build and scale their web apps. So we've got you covered. You can book a no obligation call with our team if you'd like to explore this further. And if these kind of videos are what interest you, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more. Thank you so much for watching, and we're going to be seeing you in the next one.